Hello and welcome in, my fellow nerds. It's me, Makazi007, coming at you with another Nerd Crew Pickups video. This is the month of July 2025, and I will say, unlike most months, I definitely knew that this was going to be a massive month, one way or the other, because this month I actually ended up going to a retro game convention out in South Carolina, and before going, I had a couple of goals in mind of like, should I pick up a bunch of cheap stuff? Should I try and go for some holy grails? Like, I wasn't really sure what to expect from this convention because I hadn't been to it before. And so I can reassure you that it's a lot of stuff. I ended up getting way too much, and I'm hoping August will be a little bit easier on the wallet, let's say. But I will say for the month of July, looking back, it was massive. Just starting off, I will say that the convention was awesome. I do plan on making a video for the convention itself, and I will go into more detail on that in a future video. Hopefully that'll come out soon after this one. I was going to try and get that one out first, but July has just been a crazy month because we started off by going to a new retro game store that's in our area, and it wasn't like their grand opening or anything. They've been around for a couple months now, but we went to check them out, traded in a couple of extra peripherals that we had for my PC, which they took, because that's one of the reasons we went there, is because they actually take electronics, not just games only. So we brought in some old electronics, and we ended up getting, a couple good games, which you'll see very soon in this video. And then also, I went to the gaming convention where I spent way too much money, so much in fact that I will, spoiler alert, tell you that I did not get Donkey Kong. I have not been able to pick up Donkey Kong yet for the Switch 2. Donkey Kong Bonanza is on my list of games to get. Unfortunately, like I said, I blew my budget out of the water, and so I promised myself I would wait till August. So hopefully you will see Donkey Kong Bonanza in the August pickups video. But I mean, in the meantime, I have been playing some games here and there. I still haven't really beaten much this month from what I remember. Yeah, looking over at my pile of games that I've beaten, I'm still working my way through some things. Like, I've been kind of blitzing through Pokemon Moon lately, and I played a little Wario, Wario World Shake It Up, and just a lot of Sackboy's Greatest Adventure on the PS4. So I've been playing that with Erica, as well as just some other games in and out here and there. I haven't been able to sit down and really beat any games, but I have been playing a good variety at least. So after that, I also couldn't get the video done because after the convention, I went right into the next weekend going and flying to New York to see the Pantera concert that was at Jones Beach, which was awesome. And you can catch some of the pictures I took from that. And I didn't post any videos, but I did post some of the pictures from that over on my Bluesky and you can see those links down in the description below. And I also posted them on the Instagram, so you can go ahead and catch our Instagram and Bluesky. Go ahead and give those a follow if you want. I try to post here and there some of my pickups, as well as just general things that I've been doing and I'm up to, whether it's related to the content for these videos or just in general. But without further ado, let's go and get into it, because otherwise this is going to be a very long video if we don't just get started. Okay, so here is the stuff that I got in July of 2025, and we're going to start off a little bit more chronologically, which is not typically what I do. Normally I just go system by system, but I wanted to go chronologically because I wanted to separate the games that I got from the Southeast Game Exchange as opposed to the games I got from the Retro Game Store that me and Erica ended up checking out. So first up, we're going to check out the game store stuff that we bought, and I got it up here. And we're going to start off, and we'll try and go system to system for this one at least, but we'll start off with a PS4 VR game. Yeah, I haven't gotten one of these in a while, but I saw this at the store, and this is, for me, like a must-buy. This is one of those PS VR games that I've been honestly kind of looking for a while. I played the demo way back when, and just VR tank warfare, let's go. Battlezone for the PS4 VR. And as you can see, it is complete every time. We always try to get our games complete in box because we've struggled with trying to complete things piecemeal. And so now at this point, I'm just like, if it's not complete in box for certain systems, then I just don't even want it, because, for Super Nintendo and N64, I'm still okay with getting loose carts for those. And even with Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advanced. But for DS and all the disc-based systems and Switch, I want the boxes, and if available, the manuals. So first up, we had this Battlezone game for VR, and surprise, surprise, we actually found 2 VR games at that store. We ended up getting Mega Dimension Neptunia VR. I actually think this is Mega Dimension Neptunia. I think this is supposed to be VIIR, so like 7R. I'm not really sure about that. This game I mostly got because Erica saw it in the store, and she was like, hey, why don't you get this for your PS4 collection? And I was like, sure, I guess, why not? It looks interesting enough, I guess, and I'll have to give it a try first, but who knows? It could be good. It could be weird. I've only seen the Neptunia games. I've never actually gotten one of them, so this is, I think, actually my first Neptunia game, and I know they've got a lot of weird stuff out there for this franchise, so I'm hoping that this is a fun game. But just looking from the back of it, it looks like it's definitely going to be very outlandish, so we'll see how that ends up playing out. And next up, we actually have PS2 game Onimusha 2 Samurai Destiny. Now, as you guys know, I did get Onimusha, the fighting game, I can't remember what it's called, a while back. I think maybe last month or the month before that, but I was missing the real Onimusha game, so I got Onimusha 2, and actually, I should have started off with this one. I got Onimusha Warlords, so I got both of these. They're both complete in box, as you can see here. Both nice and complete games, very clean discs. I will say one thing about the store that I was not a huge fan of is I noticed that these cases were kind of dirty, like that weird grime from sitting around too much. And they also had a bunch of EB game stickers on them and old like GameStop stickers. I actually went ahead and I almost got it all off. It looks like there's still a little schmutz up here, but I actually was going to make a video about cleaning these games, so I did end up cleaning them up with some Goo Gone and some alcohol, and then I didn't like the way the video was turning out, so I kind of scrapped that idea for a future idea. I'm thinking about at some point doing a video idea where I go ahead and show how to clean different types of games instead of just being like, oh, I got these games, let's clean them. I may actually go through and like, you know, show you how to clean like the disc-based games and some of the cartridges and kind of give almost like a tutorial, but that's just a video idea for the future. But I am excited to play these Onimusha games with a new Onimusha game coming out. I really wanted to dive into this franchise, so I'm hoping to maybe start playing this. Like I said, I really want to start Fire Emblem in... I think I want to start Fire Emblem in August, so I'm probably going to try and start these in September or October and really give these a run for their money. But I'm super excited for these games. I just wish, again, that store sold them in a much better, cleaner cases and stuff. And now the last thing that I got from the store is going to be a little bit on the confusing side, but Elite Beat Agents. Now, you'll notice that there's 2 copies here. What happened was, a long time ago, I had gotten a case and a manual from a family friend, or, well, technically one of Erica's cousins, and he already got rid of the game, but he had the case and manual, so we saved those. But I spent forever trying to find a loose copy of this game and could not find it anywhere. So I went to the store, and they had a complete in-box copy for not too expensive, and so I ended up getting that. And this is their copy. This is their manual and their case, which, thinking back, I probably should have brought this to the convention with me and tried getting rid of, and I forgot. But this is her cousin's old copy, and so I decided to put the new game into this one, and yeah, so now this is complete, which I'm super excited about because that's something I've been trying really hard to work on, is finding loose manuals, loose games, and loose boxes for a lot of the loose games that I currently own. But this looks like a fun little rhythm game for the DS, and so I'm excited to kind of give this one a shot. I have been getting into rhythm games this year, and so this was one that I was really trying really hard to get for this year, and hopefully I can give this a play soon. I mean, unfortunately, I keep getting too many games and not enough time to play them all. But yeah, I'll have to put this in a separate pile later. But nice, clean copy. Again, the store's copy, which I probably should have left dirty, actually did have a little bit of grime and a sticker on it. And the only way you can tell the difference, actually, is this down here. Her cousin's copy had the orange G, but the store copy had this yellow G, and I don't really know what the difference is. And if you happen to know the difference between those two things, please go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. I would love to know if there's a difference, or if that maybe is just like a weird misprint or something. Next up, I wanted to go through a couple of games that I actually did complete at the convention. And so the first two, I will say, are these 2 Zelda games, Ocarina of Time 3D and Link Between Worlds. Both of these, I had the case and manuals, but I didn't have the games. And so luckily I found a guy who was actually selling both games loose at the convention. I will say he didn't really give me the greatest deal on them, because I think he had them priced at $20 and $22. I can't remember which was which, but I ended up getting literally only $2 off. I really was trying to get them for cheaper, but the guy was like, "Oh, I can sell those left and right, and they're really hot sellers, so I really can't move too much on them." Which, I mean, if that's the case, fair enough. I mean, you are a business guy and you're trying to earn a living here, but I was trying to get a deal, and unfortunately I could not strike a good deal with this one. But a couple bucks off is a couple bucks off at least. So these are now complete, and super excited for that. I'll be honest with you, Ocarina of Time 3D, I have no interest in playing because I've already played Ocarina of Time on like the N64 a billion times and on the GameCube like once or twice. So I'm not really super excited for that one. But A Link Between Worlds is a new 3DS game for me personally, so I would love to dive into this one at some point and give it a shot. Another big game that I was looking for was this right here, Final Fantasy VII. I've had, the case and the manual for this for a while. I actually found someone at the convention selling all 3 discs. Oops, this always falls out. This manual always falls out. I don't know why, but yeah, he was selling all 3 discs for incredibly cheap. I just hope that they work because they were a little on the kind of dirtier side. It was one of those guys who clearly was sitting there trying to sell off his personal collection. You could tell by his booth he wasn't like a reseller, and he just had all 3 of these discs literally just shoved into one of those little plastic or paper, I should say, paper disc holders, and I think he had them marked for 10. Yeah, I want to say 10, and I think I got them for like $5. And then I ended up finding a dealer later who had all 3 discs separately priced for 10 apiece. So I think I got a really good deal on that one. $5 for all 3 discs. I genuinely don't even know if the guy knew all 3 discs were in there, but I did hand it to him and was like, "Hey, what was the lowest you could take on this?" And he was like, $5. And so great deal there if they work. If they don't work, I'm out only $5, so not that big a deal. And I do have a disc cleaner now, so I can try and clean them if they don't work originally and give it another shot. One game that I was really excited to fill was this game. Again, a PSP game. I don't play PSP very much, but this game does look pretty interesting. And out of all the cases and manuals that I got from Erica's cousin, there's a couple PSP ones that were missing, games themselves, and this was one of them. So I finally got the UMD. I will say the UMD is not in the greatest condition. It's a little on the loose side, but I think it'll still play. And I found out you can actually buy these UMD cases on Amazon for pretty cheap. I think pretty cheap. I actually didn't check the price yet, but just being able to complete this is honestly enough for me. And I don't know when I'll if ever play this game, if I'm being honest with you. It does look kind of cool, but we'll see because I'm not a big PSP person. But generally, it was really awesome because this was one of those games that I was hunting the whole time through loose PSP drawers and loose DS drawers looking for all these games. And when I saw this sitting in someone's case, I was ecstatic. And of course, it didn't have a price on it, so I asked the guy. And if I remember correctly, I think I also got this for like $5. I think it was 5 or 10. I can't remember, but easily another great deal on this one at Southeast Game Exchange. Next up, we have 007 Nightfire. Now, I did already own this game and case, but I was missing the manual. And would you look at that? I actually found a loose manual at a convention in the year of our Lord 2025. Because let me tell you, manuals are impeccably hard to come by these days. I don't know why. Like, you can kind of find them on eBay here and there, but like in the wild, they're impossible. No one is getting rid of them. Everyone just hoards them so they can complete their own copies to sell for more money. But I did find a few vendors with boxes of manuals. Now, I will say, and this will be more in my review, that a lot of the vendors selling manuals really annoyed me because they were really trying to get like a ton, like way too much money for them. I think I paid for 007 like I'm trying to remember how much I paid for 007. I think I did pay like $3 for it. And I just remember back in the day, like I used to go to PAX East and people would have baskets full of manuals for $1 a piece, no matter what they were. And they weren't the greatest manuals. It wasn't like your high-end stuff. But like games like this, these manuals should be like $1, $2 max. But I had some people who were like, I'd be like, how much is this manual? And the guy would whip out his phone and check price charting. I'm like, no. Tell me how much you want for this manual. Don't tell me how much it's worth. Because I already know what it's worth. It's worth $1 to $2, and that's what I want to give you. You know, stop trying to nickel and dime me for every little thing. Considering especially most people, most resellers who get manuals, typically get them in bulk deals. You know, they're just extra garbage lying around that people just throw at resellers, and they're like, yeah, I'll throw it in a bin and see if someone buys it one day. So it's like, come on, man. Like, don't try nickel and dime me for a manual. Believe the next game, yes, Soul Calibur 3. This was another one that was a manual that I found. This was, I think I bought this with 007, and I believe the guy originally wanted 5 for each, and I talked him down to like 3 for each or something like that. Again, not the greatest deal, considering I still think they should only be about $1 a piece. I mean, it's a little ridiculous how much money people are trying to nickel and dime you for goddamn manuals. And you can see this case is an older case. It's got like crappy stickers all over it. You know, it's got all the security enclosed sticker. That's why I said I'm thinking I'm probably going to try and do a video one day where I just show how to clean these. And then also, I really want to sit down, I think in the fall and winter, and start going through my entire collection and just start like power cleaning all of these things. Like Goo Gone all these stickers off and just basically do before and after pictures and post them on Instagram and Bluesky. So if you want to see that, go over there and follow us on those. Links in the description below. The next 3 games are actually games. Disgaea 2 Cursed Memories. This was another one. We had the case and manual, very clean case and manual, I'm realizing, but we were missing the game, and now we finally got it. And I will say, I was getting pretty lucky at that convention because like the second booth I went to had just a ton of loose games, and I believe Disgaea was not one of them at that booth. I think I found this at another one, but the next 2 games you're about to see, I believe I found both of them at that booth. And the first one is Indigo Prophecy for the PS2. Same thing, you know, I had a really clean case, a really clean manual, but I just didn't get a disc. I couldn't find a disc for it. And yeah, I was able to get one loose, and it was clean. And, you know, this looks like a more horror game, so I don't know if I'll play it anytime soon, but it's good to complete these in the collection because worst case scenario, I get rid of them, but at least now they're complete in box and easier to sell. Because I've tried selling just cases and manuals to different stores and at conventions, and they are a tough sale. And the last one is Xenosaga Episode 1, Der Wilschermacht. Another one where I was able to get the disc. And this was another one that I got at the second booth that I found. And yeah, that booth was a winner, dude. The first booth, I think, is where I got Disgaea, and then the second booth was where I got Indigo and Xenosaga. And I just felt like Xenosaga was going to be one of those games I would never find loose. So finding it loose just in a pile of loose games was a pretty big win, if I'm being honest with you. So pretty excited to have this one in the collection complete finally. The next thing I wanted to show off was, again, at the convention, I bought these cases. Now, these were all blank cases for games that I currently already own that I just wanted to stop keeping in those paper cases. And so someone was just selling them, like, clearly from their collection. I got 5 Wii cases, and then I got this PS2 case. This game, I had the artwork, and I have the manual. You can see the manual is very bent and stuff because it was actually not in a proper PS2 case, so it was too small in that area, and it was bending it for decades probably at this point. So I was trying to see if I can find Fatal Frame 2 loose, but I couldn't find it anywhere at the convention. I don't even think I found it complete anywhere at the convention, if I'm being honest with you. But I got a PS2 case finally, and then I got some Wii cases. Again, the games in here aren't new, and see, I still have these in the paper, but at least now they're kind of more in a secure location. That was the GameCube ones. I still got my Wii. Yeah, some of my loose Wii games in here that I bought off a friend a long time ago. I shouldn't say a long time ago. It was a couple of years. But yeah, she sold me a bunch of loose discs, and I was just tired of looking at them on my shelf in a paper format. And so, oh, this one's got the locks on it. And so I decided, yeah, the guy had them. I think he sold me all the cases for like $2 a piece. I think he originally had them marked for like, I think he originally just had them marked for $2 a piece. I think I just like got them for that. Actually, I bought 6 cases. Yeah, I think he charged me $10, so I think I got like 1 free. So not a bad deal, I will say. Not the best deal, but certainly not a bad deal. And so that was kind of like more of the oddity stuff. You know, I filled a bunch of cases, got a couple manuals, loose discs. But now I want to show you one of the big things I got at the convention, and honestly one of my favorite things that I've been personally looking for quite some time. I find them online all the time, but people want just way too much money for them. And someone was, again, selling their personal collection, and they had a Superboy. Wow, that is shiny. They had a Superboy. And as you can see here, this is the black gold version of it. It did come with the carrying case and it came with the charger. Well, the charger cable, not a brick. But yeah, so I was super excited to get this. Again, I never can find these things. I always find them either on Facebook Marketplace or I find them on eBay or whatever, and everyone always wants more. Like, they want like $100 or more for these things. I'm trying to get it so that it's, I guess, just you can see the camera. I guess whatever, it's not a big deal. It's a webcam. And yeah, all the buttons were very clean. The screen is a little scratchy, but not too bad. These are covered, so it still has its original pieces. I did see a bunch of people selling these, like, and the gray ones, which are the older models. I saw a bunch of people selling them for like in-box, complete, some sealed for like 120, 140. One guy was trying to get 150 for it. And then one lady, I talked her down to like, I think it was 100, and she had it in box, and I was really tempted to pull the trigger. But then I found this person selling it for 90, and I talked them down to 80. So I got this thing for $80, and it works. I've already tested it with one of the games that I bought at the convention, which you're about to see in a second. But I'm super excited for this because I really want to start playing my Super Nintendo games more often, and I just don't want to deal with, going into my office and plugging in my system. So now I can just grab a cartridge off the shelf and just play it on the couch. So very, very excited for that. And again, I've been looking for one for years, but here's the game I actually tested on it, which I also bought at the convention. F-Zero for the Super Nintendo. This is a very clean copy, I will admit. It almost kind of looked fake for a second when I first saw it because it was just so damn clean. But I'm actually looking at it a little bit closer. Oh, there it is. I was like, I couldn't find the little marking that it's supposed to have. But yeah, super clean, original copy of F-Zero. I've never played an F-Zero game until I bought this and tested it on the Superboy. And they are pretty fun games, honestly. So I'm definitely going to try and play this a little bit more and see if I can get good at it. And who knows, maybe it'll inspire me to go ahead and play more, what is it, F099 or whatever that's on the NSO, if it's still up there. Maybe I can get good with this and then go online and do some work. One of the other oddities before I get too much into the games was this 2DS XL case. Now, you might not know this, I do have a 3DS XL, and I was a little nervous at first that it might not fit, but as you can see, it perfectly fits my system. So I guess they must have just been the same size, the 2DS and the 3DS XLs. So I was really happy about that. I just wanted a case for my system. I was tired of it being loose all the time. And so I saw this. I saw a couple cases, but people wanted too much money for them. So again, some kid was selling personal collection stuff, and I ended up getting this for like $5. So, and actually I got this and a game, if I'm not mistaken. I think I bundled for these. But yeah, I was really excited to get this. And luckily I had my 3DS on hand so I could test it before buying it. But yeah, it's super clean, like no damage. Like it looks like he had it for a long time and just never used it. Like maybe it was an extra case he had because there's no dings, no scratches. Like it's perfect. And you didn't really see it well because I opened it, but it also has a little space for some games too. So I'm keeping my current loose games in here that hopefully, well, not actually because this one's not loose. Are all these loose? Yeah, no, some of these I have cases for. There's 2 loose games in there and then 2 that I just want to play. So that's why they're in there. Okay, and the next and I guess final cartridge game is... Now, this one might be a little weird to some people, but I saw it. It was super cheap, and I just had to have it. And that is Japanese DK64. That's right. This is a Japanese N64 cartridge. I really like the artwork on it. This is really purely a shelf kind of thing. It is a little dirty up here. This is purely a shelf device. Like I will probably never sell this or trade it away. I love DK64. I love the DK countries 1 through 3. Hoping to one day go to Japan, and if I do go to Japan, I may try and look for maybe in-box versions of some of these, just because it's so cheap over there to get them, so I might as well. But definitely the DK countries 1 through 3, if I can find those in Japanese as well, just for the shelf, that would also be cool, if they've got cool artwork, of course. But yeah, this was marked for $10. I forgot this price tag was actually on here, which is fine. You're going to see a lot of price tags today. I left them on because some of them are a little hard to peel off. That one luckily was easy. Some of them are a little hard to peel off and annoying to peel off, so I left them on. But this was one that this guy was selling a bunch of Japanese games as well as a couple random English games, and he was running a deal that everything in his booth was buy 2 get 1 free on everything under $10. And again, this was $10. And what else was it? It was this there was, I'm trying to remember what else I got in that deal. It was this game, another game, and then a DS game, which is coming up, that I ended up getting for free because it was $9. But yeah, $20 for 3 games, not a bad deal. I keep forgetting about all the oddity stuff. So this is the final oddity thing, which you probably saw in the thumbnail if I went with that picture, and that is this Nyko Perfect Shot. Now, as you can tell, this thing is, you might be able to tell on camera, this thing is dirty as all hell. This was actually in a free bin. I got this for free at the convention, and I used to have one of these as a kid for my Wii, and so I was looking for one for like cheap, and I also kind of want a Zapper as well, and so the fact that someone had this just in a free bin, just like a toss-away thing, I was like, oh, hell yes. And it's still complete, it's still got all its pieces and everything, definitely needs to be bleached out of its mind, which I'll be doing soon. It actually had a controller inside of it for free as well that was hella sticky, so I just tossed that thing out. It was a pink Nyko controller, and I was like, no thank you, sir. I do not want that. And okay, that I promise you that is the last like oddity thing. Next up is going to be all games. And so one of the goals at the convention, which I'll go through more in my video, was to try and get at least one game for every system. And the reason I'm telling that is because the next game I got is the only Switch game I got at the convention, and that is Daemon X Machina. Now, I did rip off the price tag on this one, or tried to. It is complete. Really cool cover, or reverse cover art, or inside art. I played the demo for this, and I enjoyed it, but it did get crapped on in its reviews, so I never gave it a chance. And I kind of regret it, but not really, because I did get this game for cheap, kind of, because I think he had it marked for $65, which is more than when the game originally came out, and I got it for $50, I believe, or $55, I can't remember. So I did get it on a little bit of a discount. Unfortunately, if you look at price charting, this game does go for more than it originally sold, which I hate that concept because it's a Switch game. It shouldn't be that high already. But unfortunately, because a lot of people didn't like it, a lot of people didn't play it, and so the game got expensive. But there's a new Daemon X Machina game coming out, I'm going to say probably next year, and so I would love to play this one first and then play the next one, because I did enjoy the demo. I really don't know why people hated it so much, but I thought it was kind of fun. So this was a good add to the collection. And all right, next up we got some 3DS games. Now, the first one is, this is the game I got when I bundled for the 3DS case, and that is Rodea the Sky Soldier. Now, I've heard of this game before because this game was also released on Wii and Wii U, and apparently it's a little bit hard to find for those systems, but it is still cheap for all of those systems. I was originally going to try and get this on the Wii, but I saw it on the 3DS, and I was like, you know what? I'll get it on the 3DS. Why not? I think the guy had it marked for like 25, and I got it for like 20. It's got the game in here, complete with manual and the little soundtrack that it came with. I don't really love collecting cardboard boxes, but I figured why not since it was complete. And I did find another copy of this at the convention, but it didn't have the cardboard outside with the bonus original soundtrack. So this was definitely a good deal for sure. And the next 3DS game was Codename Steam. Now, I'll be honest with you, I've never heard of this game. It is sealed. This is the game. Again, it was $9. This is the game that that guy was doing his buy two get one free deal on, and I will say he let's see if I can get his sticker off. There we go. He had like 30 copies of this game, and he said he just bought them in bulk from some other like guy or reseller who was just trying to get rid of them. So now he's just trying to get rid of them, and I noticed a lot of people had this at their booth, like a sealed copy of this, who clearly probably bought it from him. So he was definitely getting rid of these things in bulk. When I bought them, he still had like 15 or 20 copies left. And then I started watching YouTube videos on that convention and noticed that a YouTuber bought like 10 copies of this. So like, yeah, he had a crap load of these, but the game does look kind of interesting. So, I mean, it's a tactics game, if I'm not mistaken, and you know I like tactics games, so I'll definitely be cracking this the seal open. And in hindsight, maybe I should have bought two. Maybe I should have kept one sealed and opened the other one to play, but that's not the type of gamer I am, so this bad boy will be opened. And my final 3DS game is a game that I asked Bluesky for advice. I was going to a convention. I said, I really want to get into Fire Emblem. What are the best Fire Emblem games to get? And of course, people, listed off Three Houses and Radiant Dawn and the GameCube one that I can't remember its name right now. But one that kept coming up that was more affordable that was claimed to be a good start for the franchise, and if you disagree, please go ahead and mention it in the comments below, was Fire Emblem Awakening for the 3DS. And so I decided to get this one. I looked all over the convention for this one to be complete. I kept finding either not complete ones, or the few that I was finding complete, people wanted way too much money for. They were looking for like $35-$40. On price charting, I think this game goes for $25, and I was able to get this one for $20. So, and again, I bundled it with one more game, which I'll show you later, and I literally only bought the other game to get this one to be cheaper, and then I ended up looking at the game a little bit more and was like, it still looks like a cool game, so it was worth bundling at least. But I'm excited to play this. I definitely think this will probably be an August game for me. I'm going to really try to dive really deep into Fire Emblem in general, and I definitely want to start with Awakening. Next up, we have the only DS game that I bought, and this one I bought for Erica, because I did ask a bunch of people in my life that I'm going to a convention, and I was like, what kind of game should I look out for? And there was one that Erica said she played as a kid that she really wanted to get again, and that was Trauma Center Under the Knife. This is an Atlas game, so you know it's going to be probably weird. It's like a surgery game, / RPG. I'm not really sure exactly. All I know is Erica was really excited, and she said, please keep an eye out for it. I really only ever found this one copy of this game, and there's a second game in this franchise that the dealer also had, and I was tempted to get both, but the second one's like way more expensive, and she only mentioned this one, so I was like, let me start off with this. I think I got this one for $20, and it was at like the third or fourth booth that I went to, so like it was a quick like day one got this, and again, I'm glad I did, because I went for a 3-day convention and I only ever found this at that one booth, so definitely I think a good buy. Next up, we're going with some GameCube games, and first off, we got Lord of the Rings: The Third Age, the most exciting RPG since Final Fantasy, according to the box, and we did get it complete with both discs. One of the big reasons I got this game specifically was because this is one of those games that my brother played when we were kids, so there's a lot of nostalgia for me watching him play this. We didn't play it together, unfortunately, but I did watch him play this, so I was super excited. I saw this game at multiple booths, but I got it for less than at most of those other booths, but I will say my copy is a little dirtier. I did see some that were much cleaner for only like an extra couple bucks. And I also found it on PS2 more than on GameCube, but I decided to get it on GameCube, and I'm not really sure if I remember why. I think it was just because I saw the GameCube one first, and I was able to get it for a decent deal, because I bought it with another GameCube game, which was Goblin Commander Unleash the Horde. So I bundled these two games together to get them for a little bit of a better deal, and I think I got like $5 or $10 off the two of them. This is another game that I've seen in stores once or twice, but never got to pick up, and then it got more expensive since the last time I saw it in a store. And so when I saw it at the convention and it was with that other game at the booth, I was kind of like, let's throw it in and see if we can get a bundle deal, because it's one thing I've learned from a couple YouTubers is that when you're trying to buy games at conventions, try and go for bundle deals. Like, it does work probably 80% of the time. There are times where people will be like, sorry, I just can't move on the price for those. But a lot of times if you throw in more stuff, they're willing to lower the price because they know that they're moving more stock. They know that they're still getting a good deal for all that stuff. And that's going to be it for the GameCube games. I really didn't go too hard for GameCube, but I did get a ton of PlayStation games. And we're going to start off with the PS2. And we're going to start off with a sealed copy of Lord of the Rings Aragorn's Quest. I think I got this for $10. I will say the seal is a little busted up here, but that's fine because, yeah, it was $10. We're going to open this bad boy anyway, so I don't really care if it's got the seal a little bit broken. But this is a game that I've heard of before. I think this is also on the Game Boy Advanced or the DS. I can't remember which one. And I've heard in like a video talking about it how it's actually a really fun game. And so I saw that video not too long ago. So when I saw this for PS2, I was like, oh, hell yeah. And it's sealed. And it's only $10. It's like the stars just aligned. And so I definitely went and got this one. I don't remember if I bundled this with anything else. I think I might have just bought this straight out for 10 and not even negotiated, if I'm being honest with you. And the next PS2 game we got is Army Men Green Rogue. Now, I love the Army Men series. I will be honest with you. This is a great series. It has a lot of great games. It has a 6 here, but I think I got it for $5. But yeah, complete as everything usually is. And this looks like a great game. I don't know too much about it, but it kind of looks like a third person kind of shooter a little bit. I have a couple other Army Men games in my collection, and they're just awesome nostalgia for me. Like, I had like the actual Army Men toys when I was a kid, and also, you know, anytime I see these games, like any of them, I'll usually give them the benefit of the doubt. So this looks like a great game, and I'm definitely going to give it a shot when I get a chance. Next PS2 game we got is EverQuest Online Adventures. Now, you might be asking yourself, dude, isn't that a PS2 online only game? How the hell are you going to play that? Why did you buy that? Well, first off, it was $5. Secondly, I actually bought 2 copies and gave one to Jesse, who was at the convention with me, because me and him talked about it, and we were like, maybe if we both get a copy of this game, we can try and play it together online. And we found out through a little research that indeed you can play this online together. So, yeah, this looks like we're going to have a great and very complicated time trying to get this to function. But when we do, we're going to have a great time. So, first off, I got to get a PlayStation 2 like online adapter thingy. And then after that, me and Jesse are going to try and sign up for the server. Apparently there's a private server that's run for this game, and there's a way to sign up for it and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and dive into the Reddit rabbit hole and figure all that out at a later date. If we still streamed, that would have been a great stream idea. And next up actually is the game I bundled with Fire Emblem, this Gun Griffin Blaze. Now, I'll be honest with you, the main reason I got this game was to bundle, but also because it's hella shiny. It's got like a foil cover, which is really cool, and the gameplay looked interesting enough. You know, mechs, shooting at other mechs, what else do you want? You know what I mean? And it's complete, as we like it. But yeah, the shininess definitely like clicked into my brain. The next 2 games I got were the Red Faction 1 and 2 games. Now, I will say, I've heard a lot about Red Faction, and this was kind of closer to the end of my time at the convention where I was like, man, I didn't really get a ton of games, and I started blitzing through to try to get cheap games, which is where a lot of these PS2 games were bought on the final day. And someone had both Red Faction 1 and 2. Of course, 1 is the greatest hits, but I don't really care about that type of stuff. Both of them are complete. And so I decided to get them both because I've heard really good things about this franchise, so might as well get them while they're cheap, you know. Next up is actually going to be a PS5 game, because again, I was trying to get at least one game for every system that we own, and so for PS5 I got Rustler. Now I did get this for a couple bucks off, although the guy who sold me this and a lot of the PS4 games you're about to see definitely was trying to nickel and dime me pretty hard, so I didn't really get great deals on them in my opinion, but I've heard of this game before. I was originally going to get it on Switch, but since I saw it on PS5, it was cheap, and I was at that convention. I got it there. It's supposed to be kind of like a GTA meets like Red Dead Redemption / medieval kind of stuff. And it's just supposed to be kind of like, as you can tell from the cover, just like crazy, quirky fun. And so I think this is going to be an exciting and fun game to play, hopefully, in the near future. Next up, I got, for PS4 now, Earth Defense Force 4.1, The Shadow of New Despair. I've heard a lot of good things about the Earth Defense Force series, but never actually played any of them. And I got this also at the same booth, and I can tell because it's got this Scotch tape over it, which, not to complain too much here because I want to save it for my my actual review video, but like, if by some chance the vendor or any vendor in the future sees this video and sees this complaint, please take it seriously. Do not Scotch tape the game shut. You'll see a Wii game later on that I already tried ripping it off like carefully, and I already ripped the plastic. Like, please do not do that. I understand you want to seal your games so people don't steal them. I get it, but like, sealing them with Scotch tape is not the answer. Resealing games in general like that is just a pain in the ass. And now I'm gonna have to go with Goo Gone to freaking open all of these just to make sure I don't rip any more of them. But I mean, going back to this, I've heard a lot of good stuff about this franchise, and so I decided to pick this one up because it was there and cheap. Next up is a game I never heard of called The Dwarves by THQ Nordic. Now, again, another PS4 game from the same people. This one's supposed to be like tactical real-time battles. It kind of looked like you basically control a squad of dwarves in tactics, maybe real-time style gameplay. And that just seemed really interesting to me. So I decided, yeah, why not? Give it a shot. So I went ahead and picked up The Dwarves, a game I've literally never heard of before, which is kind of rare. Like, for newer games, for me never to even have heard of it is kind of like a rare thing. So it always piques my interest. Next up, I got Necromunda Hired Gun, another game that I honestly haven't really heard of before. I feel like I may have seen this somewhere, but I thought it was like an expansion to another game. I didn't realize it was its own game. It says here it does have a PS5 upgrade availability, but you know me, I love Warhammer. I see a Warhammer video game that's even remotely interesting, FPS here. I'm going to have to give it a shot. So, again, not too bad on the price, although, again, I did negotiate all the ones with the green stickers you're going to see. I did negotiate with this person and did get the prices down a little bit, but just not as much as I was hoping for, unfortunately. Next up, we got Star Trek Bridge Crew, the VR game. It's sealed, although I'm going to probably crack that seal soon. The reason I got this was mostly because Jesse has this game already, and he said we could play together online. And so I'm hoping that we can give this a try together at some point soon. Because, you know me, I love PS4 VR games. That's what I collect, basically. That and, like, Wii are, like, my two biggest collections that I go heavy on. Yeah, I wanted to give this a try. And the fact that he already had the game and said he'd play with me is just a bonus, you know? Yeah, a lot of PS4 games. Next one is Dungeons 3. Now, this is another one I've never heard of the Dungeons series before. But it said here Dungeon Keeper meets Warcraft. And that was a really good tagline, I will say. Super interested in playing this one. And the back of the box did look kind of interesting. It is only one player. It does have a little crud down here as well. And I will say it's got this dumb sticker on it, which I've already tried peeling one of these off a different game, which you'll see next. And it didn't come off very easily, so I'm just going to wait and get the goo gone for that. And the next game is Bladestorm Nightmare. And see, you can see there's some stickiness here from the same kind of label. But yeah, this game, I just looked at the back of the box, troop commands, and there's like medieval stuff, fantasy stuff, dragons, and I was like, yeah, I'm sold. I haven't been showing them off, but this game also is complete. I don't know why they did this. They put these not in here, but I got to fix that at some point. But yeah, this game looks pretty cool, and I can't wait to give this one a shot as well. And finally, the last PS4 game I got is another VR game, and it's Tetris Effect. This game, it's a surprise. This feels like a game that should be in everyone's PS4 VR collection, and the fact that it's not one of the first games I got is kind of a surprise. But I did get it sealed. Obviously, I'll rip this bad boy open at some point in the near future. But Tetris is just like iconic. Tetris Effect is touted as one of the best ways to play, and in VR is apparently like the best way to play it. And so I've been looking for this game for a while. I kept finding it on Facebook posts, but people wanted like too much money for it because then I'd also have to ship it, so it was going to come out to like $35. And so I told myself if I ever see it in a store or at a convention, I'll go ahead and pick it up. And so I found it here. Again, anything with a green label I did negotiate on, so I did get this for cheaper. I don't remember how much cheaper, but I did get it for a little cheaper. And finally, the last system for games is the Wii. And now the next one is a great game I've already played a little bit of with some friends, and it is Worms Battle Islands. This game is sick, man. The Worms series in general is just a hell of fun. Just great party games. It's complete in box. And I don't remember how much I paid for this. I want to say it was a couple bucks, honestly. Maybe $5, maybe $10 for this. But this was a great one. Me, Jesse, and Erica played it when I got back from the convention for a little bit, and we just had a blast with it. The Worms series is just one of those like arcadey style, like really fun games to play with your friends. Highly recommend. I'm supposed to go drive and see some friends in Florida, maybe in September, I think. And I'm planning on bringing my Wii. I'm planning on bringing my Rock Band set, and I'm definitely going to bring Worms Battle Islands, just in case they want to get, you know, a little crazy. And I would like to say that's everything, but I did end up getting one big purchase. Now, when I went to this convention, I had the mindset of, I don't go to video game conventions a lot. I want to try and get like one grail item. One item that is just like an iconic thing for someone who collects for these systems, for retro game systems. And I wrote out a list of all the games I was going to look for. And I happened to literally at one of the first booths find it. And I did feel like I did end up overpaying slightly for it, especially considering that most booths had a copy of this for cheaper. I should have just waited, but I did get an exceptionally clean copy of Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. Yes, this game is a triple-digit game. As you can tell, it's sealed. Well, not really sealed. It's just like in this clean case. It is an open copy. I've already checked the disc and everything. It's very clean. I'm very excited to play this, hopefully soon. Again, I want to start with Awakening first and then go into Radiant Dawn by the end of this year. I still am a little bit regretful on how I purchased the game, but the guy had it priced for like $210, I think, which I had gotten confused. That's usually the price of the GameCube one, not the Wii one. But I ended up trading him my really pretty clean copy of StarCraft 64, which for some reason these days is going for like $95. I hate that game. I love StarCraft. I hate StarCraft 64. And so I decided that if I could find someone who was willing to trade for another good big game, that's what I was going to do at this convention. So he gave me $75 for StarCraft, and he lowered the price of this down to $180. So I got this for about $105, which if you look at price charting, I think it goes for like $120. So I technically got a deal. And considering I only bought StarCraft for like, I think $5 or $10 way back in the day, I still technically got a deal on this game, is what I'm going to tell myself. But I do kind of feel ripped off. And hopefully when I play this game, it'll be super fun. And then I'll be like, you know what? It was worth it. But yeah. All right, and that was everything that we got in July of 2025. And like I said in the beginning of this video, man, it was just massive. So much stuff. I still can't believe I went over budget at that convention. And just honestly, the convention as a whole was great. I will be making a video, like I said earlier, and it will be posted probably, I'm going to say maybe the week after this video or maybe 2 weeks after this video. Definitely sometime early August, I will post a video on my Real Talk review of Southeast Game Exchange 2025, where I'll go into more depth on some of the games that I got, some of the things I saw, some of the people I saw, and just some of the good times that were had there. As well as some of the negatives, because I'll be honest with you, the convention was great, but there were a couple things that knocked it down a couple notches. But other than that, I just want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and give a like to this video, or go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you want to follow us over on our Bluesky or Instagram, the links will be in the description down below. And as always, go down in the comments and let me know. What do you think? Do you like some of the stuff you saw in this video? What should I be on the lookout for? What should I be hunting for some of these systems? And also, I want to just say thanks again to the people on Bluesky who recommended me some of those Fire Emblem games to pick up. And hopefully I can start my Fire Emblem journey next month. I'm really hoping August I can play a bunch of DK Bonanza and a bunch of Fire Emblem Awakening. Maybe I'll get to Radiant Dawn. We'll see. But I definitely want to play some Awakening, since that was the #1 game that people on Bluesky were telling me that is a good start for Fire Emblem. That's not Three Houses, because I was trying to avoid Three Houses because it's kind of a massive game and I wanted something maybe a little bit more bite-sized. So, and once again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you nerds later.